Hello, future graduates of PGA. I am Rebecca Kelsey, and this is my legacy and advice video for all of you who are coming up through the ranks of PGA. I will start with my legacy. I must say it's not a big one, but I am proud to say that I was a part of the fantastic yearbook staff 2 years in a row during my freshman and sophomore year, and those were two of my biggest years of growth here. And I'm really proud of our product and what we introduced and what we were able to do with how few people we had. My next biggest contribution to PGA was being a founding member of the drama club here in PGA. And hopefully, when you're seeing this, it will still be going and you'll still have a chance to perform and act and do whatever you please along those lines. My next part here for you is I have 3 more pieces of advice for you. The first one is to communicate. I know you're going to hear this a lot. You're going to hear a lot of my advice over and over again from a lot of people. But I have to say, communication is key here at PGA because it is a mostly online course. If you do not email or catch your teachers during Flex Lab, you're gonna get lost in your content and in your work, and you might drown in it. And that's not what the teachers want. It's not what you should want. You shouldn't feel overwhelmed by your classes and the work that you must do in those classes. I know as freshmen it can seem a bit overwhelming because you're coming from middle school where you feel like you're top dog, you know exactly what's going on, and you get to high school and you realize that you're not the hot stuff you thought you were, and it leads to a reality check, but in the way that's a good thing because it means you're growing as a person and as a student, and that's good. But back to communication. Your teachers want you to talk to them. They're not going to bite, or at least not very hard if they do. But they're there to help you, and they're there to guide you and ensure that you do the best work and know what you're doing. So please, communicate with your teachers and communicate with the students around you, especially if you're doing a group project as well. Because if you don't communicate with the people in your group, it's gonna get complicated pretty fast, even if you are working in Google Drive with your presentation or whatever project you're doing together. My second piece of advice is if you can avoid at any point, if you can control your circumstances, do not procrastinate your work. I am guilty of procrastinating nearly everything I've ever done, and I'm not proud of it because it has led to very sloppy work, working right up to the deadline of whenever my project is due. And it's sloppy, it's not my best work, and teachers know it, I know it, and if you do the same thing, you'll know it. You'll know it's not your best. Or you'll be like how I normally am, and you'll procrastinate and procrastinate until the deadline, and then you'll see that deadline and be like, oh no, well, I can't turn in any quality work, so I'm not going to turn it in at all. And then you'll turn it in late, but good quality, but you still won't get the full points that you need for that assignment. Even if you get 100% work, you're only going to get 50 to 75%. And you're not going to pass that way. It's not going to be great for you. And it's going to make you feel bad. It's going to make the teachers feel bad. But mostly yourself, because you're disappointing yourself in your work, knowing that it may be your best, but you're not getting full credit, or it might not be your best, but you're still getting full credit, and you feel disappointed in having sloppy work. So please, for the love of everything in the world, do not procrastinate. I know it's tempting. I know video games, social media, that book you really, really, really want to read, that thing you want to go do, that movie you want to see. Is that worth your grades? And I know a lot of you might say, well, maybe. And that's wholly up to you. If you have the ability to do these things without procrastinating your work, that's fantastic. But if you procrastinate and you keep doing all this stuff, you're going to run out of time to do that stuff. If you do your work now, you're going to end up having more time later on. Trust me on this. I tried it. I tested it. Don't repeat my mistakes, please. My third piece of advice, and this will be my final piece of advice for you. Sit with someone that you don't know, that is outside of your comfort zone. One lunch is all I ask. Sit with somebody outside of your normal group for one lunch period. You might be surprised. You could get a new friend that way. I did that my freshman year. First day of freshman year, and I might not have had a choice in the matter, because my friend grabbed me by the wrist and was like, hey, let's sit over here. And at that point, we weren't friends yet, but she grabbed me. She sat me down at one of the tables and was like, okay, we're friends now. And I got a fantastic friend group out of it. And who knows? Maybe that one person you sit with might become your best friend throughout high school and possibly beyond. So, just a quick recap. Communicate with teachers and students and friends. Do not, under any circumstances, procrastinate your work. You'll have more time later if you don't. And sit with someone you don't know. Sit outside of your comfort zone. Other than that, I must say, I know you all are going to reach for the stars, and you're going to do great things in PGA. I know it. So, don't let yourself down.